Hi, I'm Tammy, and you are watching Ask Tammy, where we talk about the best ways to establish your business, protect your name, and keep your profit. Today, I want to be sharing with you 5 places where your business might be at risk. Okay? So, the first one is if you run a business as a sole proprietor or with something that they call a doing business as, right? It's a type of certificate, assumed name certificate. That might be one place where you're at risk. The reason why is because you have not created a separation between what belongs to the business and what belongs to you. So if there was any reason why somebody had to come after you, let's say something happened and you were sued, they would have access to your personal property. That means they would have access to your house, your car, the things that you need to survive. But if you form something like an LLC or an S Corp or a corporation and you stick with the guidelines that the law has put in place that show separation, you'll be able to shield your personal property from whatever the business has at risk. So that's the first place where you might be at risk, is if you have not formally formed some type of business entity. The second place where you might be at risk is if you have at least one employee. Why do I say that? Because if you've hired someone, there are a ton of federal and state laws that apply to you. And you want to make sure that you are completely in compliance. So before you hire someone, make sure you sit down with an attorney or you do research and you find out what are the things that I need to make sure I provide to my employees. You also need to make sure, a lot of people have people that they've hired as independent contractors, but they're actually employees. So you want to make sure, have I hired an independent contractor, or do I have someone who is doing work with me on a regular basis who qualifies as an employee under the law? Understanding that distinction makes a huge difference, and it's one place where people are at risk in their businesses. The third thing that I want to share with you is if you have a commercial space that you use and lease out, you might be at risk again. One of the biggest problems that I see is people sign these contracts for commercial leases without having anyone review them, and they don't know what they're signing. When I go back, if you can't tell, there's frustration in my voice because I don't like it. I hate when people come to me and they say, help me with this problem, and it's too late because they signed a bad contract. So make sure that when you're looking at your leases, when you're deciding where you're going to run your business, that you have an expert review the lease to make sure that you're not giving up valuable rights. A lot of people waive rights and they sign like furiously because, hey, they're in the love phase where they're just, oh my God, I love this space. It's so beautiful. Oh, my heart. Yes, everybody starts a relationship like that, right? Everybody thinks, oh, nothing terrible could happen, but you never know. So why don't you take the extra precautions? All right, that's another place where you might be at risk. Another area where you might be at risk is if you have someone else who manages the day-to-day operations of your business. So in that particular instance, you want to make sure that you have your formation documents on point. You want to make sure that it's very clear who owns the business and who manages it, and the responsibilities of each party are written out and established clearly so that there's no issues. You don't want someone to come down the line and say that they're actually a partial owner when they're not. They just helped you work there. But if you don't have any proof and they're on the formation documents because you just gave them right to your equity, then you're going to be in the hole. You're going to have to bear the responsibility. So that's another area where people sometimes have their business at risk. All right? And my final one is if you run a website that you use to sell products or collect names or market the services that you provide. A lot of people fall into this group where they have these websites, they're e-commerce sites, but they don't have the right legal protections in place. They don't have a privacy policy, which is required by federal law. They don't have a terms and conditions, which means they're letting people use their websites without any type of rules or regulations, right? They don't have any documentation about what they have as intellectual property on their site. So they have all these areas where they're opening themselves up to risk, And a lot of times, especially if you're a profitable business, those risks will be exposed. Someone will come to your site and something will go wrong. And you don't want to be the person who has no protection, who hasn't thought about it. So those are some quick ways where your business might be at risk. If you like the information that you received today, please share this and subscribe. Also, follow me on social media, specifically Facebook and Instagram at TOS Legal. You can also visit my website, which is www.TOSlegal.com. All right? It's a perfect place for you to come and find lots of resources, see more information, find other videos, and download free things to help you establish your business, protect your name, and keep your profits. That's all I've got for you. Till next time.